Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back. Today, we are on our weekly mission to wrap up the box office and ruminate on what exactly happened. Oh, and what will happen in the future, towards the end of the video anyway. So let's dive into the top 5. Here we go. Of course, before we get started, I have one quick plea. For those of you who are not subscribed, please let today be that day. Look down and turn the little red button that says subscribe to gray. We are closing in on that magical 25,000 subscribers, and you can help. We can get there before the month of April is up, and I would truly appreciate it. Now let's dive into what was a very interesting weekend at the box office. With a holiday weekend, and yes, this was a holiday weekend, some encouraging early estimates are making it look like the exhibitors had a decent start heading into April, which is good. With over $135 million as of the time of this recording for the overall box office receipts, that's a great number domestically. Perhaps the road to recovery for AMC and others could actually happen, at least in the short term. Of course, AMC itself has some issues which we will get into in an entirely other video, but let's break down the all-important top 5 for this weekend only. Coming in at number 5 is Immaculate, the Sydney Sweeney horror film that goes to show sometimes when you do one for them, you get to do one for you. And Neon's nun-based film comes in at a domestic $3.1 million with a small 41% drop in weekend 2. This places it near the $10 million domestic range in total and pushes the future for horror films to the forefront as a solid investment for smaller studios. Rolling in laughing into 4th place is the Jack Black animated family pleaser Kung Fu Panda 4. And stretching into a 4th weekend domestically, it has achieved a respectable total of $10 million with a small 39% drop week over week. Globally, this film has performed well and is looking to get past that $300 million mark this weekend. It's in pursuit of a $500 million plus total performance, and I think before it leaves theaters, well, let's look at it. It looks like the $400 million is doable with starts or late starts in the UK, France, and Australia this last weekend or in the coming week. But $500 million? I don't know. With an $85 million production budget, this film looks to have started on the profit side of the ledger very early. It's just behind 2016 Kung Fu Panda 3, and the disappointing domestic finish that one has, adjusted for inflation, was right around $178 million. So this one seems to be doing all right. Sticking around for its 5th weekend in theaters is Timothée Chalamet's Dune Part 2. It's firmly ensconced in 3rd place according to estimates, picking up another $11.1 million in domestic totals, pushing the global numbers to and beyond the magical global number $600 million. Now, the domestic performance of this film is largely and accurately attributed to its stranglehold on the premium large format IMAX screens. And they've been able to score with those screens the 8th highest earner overall for IMAX at $62 million total. Will this film make enough to justify a 3rd entry in the series, though? Will it even make sense to an audience that has been stunned by the wild shifts in the adaptation right at the end of the film? And it's going to require a lot of original work to even complete a logical story. I, for one, am rooting for Legendary and Warner Brothers Discovery to cut Denis off at this point and maybe swing around to the smaller TV projects as planned. I mean, suddenly the Bene Gesserit series doesn't sound so bad, and maybe it can fix some of the things that just got broken. Now, and predictably, coming up in 2nd is the film I'm most disappointed in. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, with a smaller opening last weekend than any fan would have hoped for. The new haunted opening staggers into an ice-cold 2nd weekend, dropping off a chilling 65%. Now, at $15.7 million domestic, I don't know what the future holds. Worse yet, the total yield to date here in North America is a glacial $73.4 million, trailing its predecessor by 14 million just 10 days into the run, at least based on this weekend's estimates. While Afterlife did open into a Thanksgiving week, if I remember correctly, Ghostbusters has also had a fair run over spring break for much of the country here in the United States. What will Sony do with its planned Ghost Corp's future? I don't know. Outside of animation, is there anything more to push? Is Jason Reitman's enthusiasm enough to keep this going, keep this plan on track for a bigger slice of the pie? Regardless of all of that, the $100 million production budget and the estimated $80 million in promotional expenses, this film needs to find about
$300 million
more in global earnings to make any of that future make sense. And that's just breaking even. Much like Dune 2 so far, the money doesn't seem to be there to justify any kind of cinematic universe to milk this property forever. Everyone is tired of remakes and sequels and reboot-quels and bait-and-switch plays on, favorite film franchises. Much like, well, they're tired of the mainstream news, television, and now film studios. Nobody trusts them with older quality products because they just basically destroy them. Which leads us to the number one spot this week, of course, the most monstrous movie of the month, Godzilla x Kong. The number one movie in North America, of course, coming into the weekend. The only conversation around it, though, was will GXK beat the opening weekend that Dune 2 had at the beginning of the month, or will it not? Well, the answer seems to be it was close. At an estimated $80 million opening this Easter weekend, Godzilla x Kong fell about $2 million short of Dune's huge open, at least based on estimates. Those numbers could change a little bit later into the week. That could have come down to the premium large format screen still being hogged up by Dune 2. At least, I think so. The reluctant team up between these monsters had a solid first day, $37 million, which combined Thursday previews and Friday's totals. The projected opening was much smaller than the current estimate, and the international numbers are likely to overperform on opening as well. That's good news. Comparatively, at a whopping $135 million in production costs, the new Empire film was crazy in comparison to its monstrous cousin, Godzilla Minus One, which was spending less than $10 million on its production. But GXK is substantially less than any recent Marvel film or Disney Minus show, so that's something to be happy about. And of course, Legendary has had a pretty decent March this year, with both this film, Godzilla x Kong, and Dune 2 being, well, having their name on it anyway. Oh, and here's something interesting to note, and it's not your imagination. Disney had no new releases this week, or last week, or the week before that, or the week before that. In fact, Disney only had a couple of previously released streaming titles enter the market, at least as far as March is concerned. There were no originals, none. I mean, you got Luca the previous weekend, and in its second weekend, it's only managed to pull in a total of a dismal $1.1 million in theaters, which failed spectacularly. It is what should be the defining moment in Uncle Bob Iger's disastrous crash of a lifetime. A Disney animated film that likely didn't make back even its production costs. What a mess. Anyway, with Godzilla x Kong, the new Empire, out this week in theaters, there are not a whole lot of competitors coming up here to scare it away. You have The First Omen and Monkey Man entering the fray this coming weekend. But what do you think the odds are that the top three here are going to change very much? Do you think we'll actually see much change until later in the month with the likes of The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare? Maybe Civil War will move the needle, but I doubt it. And Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead remake, I don't think those are terribly inspiring. I certainly don't have much to look forward to myself, except for The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, but do you? Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. And hey, do treat yourself to check out the merch store at Beach Punk S, because I am sponsored by myself. Lots more items have just hit the table, and there's opportunities to get them sent to you very quickly. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see you.